Hey everybody, what's up? Jaxxsin here, and I got a little cool something you didn't know maybe about Far Cry Primal that's very fucking awesome and has had me just like, so immersed in the fucking game that I can barely handle myself. And this is, before I even get started on any of this, guys, let me just say that this does contain spoilers for Far Cry Primal and for a movie that came out in 1999 and a book before that called Eaters of the Dead, and the movie was called 13th Warrior. If you haven't seen those or read those, or you haven't played Far Cry Primal and you don't want spoilers, now's the time to walk away, because I'm going to get into it, and it's definitely, there's spoilers involved here for Primal and for that movie, The 13th Warrior, and for the book, The Eaters of the Dead. And so, with that said, let me get started on it. So, when I first started playing Far Cry Primal, they introduced the Udam, which is one of the warring tribes you're at war with. And they call them, they make mention that these people are cannibals, right? That they eat your tribe. And so I immediately was thinking in my mind, because 13th Warrior is just the shit. Okay, and if you haven't seen this movie, let me give you a brief synopsis without any major spoilers. It's about Antonio Banderas plays like a Muslim lord who falls in love with like a bigger lord's woman. I can't remember. I'm not entirely certain how it worked back then in the hierarchy back in the Middle East with the Muslims. But keep in mind that I'm fairly certain this was before the Crusades, and you actually can tell through their culture that they were a lot less angry and like, warpathy, and it was before like that happened. And so he falls in love with this dude's lady, and the dude is powerful enough that he sends Antonio Banderas' character away, right? So this Muslim dude is forced to wander and like kind of be a what do you call it? An emissary between just all the separate people, basically like a traveling fucking political figure of the time. There's a word for it, but I can't think of it. Anyway, so he meets up with these Northmen, which are Vikings, and there's a messenger comes in the middle of the night as he's sitting there doing his job, which is to get to know them and talk to them and find out their culture and stuff, because he's writing it all down. He's meant to keep the history of what he finds out there and shit. And so these Vikings, they're crone or whatever you want to call her. She starts prophesying that the men who are going to so they receive this messenger, and it's a prince, and he says that his father's land is plagued by the Wendel, and they pronounce it Wendel, but it's spelled Wendel. And everyone's quiet about it, you know what I mean? And you don't really find out much more about these people until later in the movie. Anyway, this crone says that it must be 13 people who go. And as she's laying out the dice, she's saying, who will be the second man? Who will be the third man? And these big badass Vikings, kick-ass cast all the way around. Awesome fucking casting in this movie. Excellent movie, man. I will reiterate that. This has been one of my favorite movies since I saw it when I was a kid, dude. And I read The Eaters of the Dead, which is the Michael Crichton book it was based on. Excellent fucking read. Easy read, man. It's fucking amazing what this dude did with this story. Anyway, so when she gets to the 13th man, she throws the dice and she's like, oh, the 13th man can't be a Northman. And so everyone there takes that to mean that it's meant to be Antonio Banderas' character, who is Muslim. It's meant to be him to go help them, and so he does. Anyway, I'm not going to get into anything else about his travel with these people or anything like that, but you need to watch this movie. It's fucking amazing. If you haven't seen this movie, go get it now. Go get it, watch it now. And anyway, what's happening to these people is they're getting attacked by this tribe of cavemen. They look like cavemen, and they eat the dead. But they think that these are demons because they wear like bear clothes, bear furs, and they come out only at night, and there's talk of like a worm and a fireworm, you know what I mean? But really all it is there's so many of this tribe coming down out of the woods with torches that like it looks like a dragon. And then they roll in and they take, they kill whoever's fighting, but they always take the dead. They take their dead, and if they can get away with it, they take their fallen dead and they eat them, okay? Now, not going to go into anything more because this is a movie I suggest you go watch. It's the shit. But they come to this point where they're said they have to kill the mother. And they discover this by finding a small carved idol on one of the dead Wendel that they kill, the Vikings that they kill in one of these battles. They find this, or no, it's actually left behind at a place where they took a bunch of people and, you know, for eating purposes. They took these people and they were going to eat them, and they left behind this little stone idol of what the crone in the village says is their mother, right? So it's their mother. And so I was feeling before I got to this mission that these were connected, that the Udam and the fucking Wendel were in fact the same tribe, albeit, you know, separated by many, many years. The ones in the 13th Warrior would have been after many, you know, obviously a long, long time after when the events of Primal take place. But I truly believe that it's the surviving tribe of the, you know, who they call the Udam in Far Cry Primal. And just to even get a little more mind trippy on you, these are actually things that are based in fact. Like the story that Michael Crichton wrote was actually based on a manuscript found that was written by a Muslim dude, and it was, you know, it was very vague and very hard to translate after so many years. But if you do your research on that, like, you can find out that it was actually based on like a real thing, you know what I mean? So, and this is just something I thought you guys would fucking find very cool to know. I mean, to me, because I'm such a fan of the 13th Warrior, and like, I already like Far Cry games, but dude, the way that they set the atmosphere in this game so far has had me totally immersed, man. Like, it's just had me involved. And they've done such a good job with that. And, you know, it goes back to, this shows you how much work they put into this story and these tribes and stuff. They actually did their homework. And this is actually a tribe that is representative in historical, you know, it's rough, you know, because it's before recorded human history. So it's based on lots of stuff that, you know, they found, like that manuscript that was half fallen apart and very hard to translate, you know what I mean? That Michael Crichton kind of used his imagination to fill in the rest, yes. But a lot of it is true, you know what I mean? And so if you just get into this game and you start playing it and you keep that in mind, and whereas I was a fan of 13th Warrior, like a huge fucking woo fan, to me it was the shit. Anyway, guys, that's just something cool I thought you might not know about this game, and like, it's gotten me way more immersed, man. Some of these cave levels, dude, I just feel like that scene in fucking, if you haven't seen the movie, go see it. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. These cave levels feel like that scene, dude, when they're all going down into the caves to get the mother. Oh, it's so fucking awesome. Anyway, guys, that's it for me, Jaxxsin, out of here. I'll leave you with one last glaring image of the mother. Take care, guys. I love you. Have a good one.